Knowledge, guys. Here's a quick video to show you how to solve multiplication and division equations. I have a couple of steps that I'm going to write down over here. I want you to use the following steps. I know it sounds strange, but I want you to rewrite the equation first on a separate sheet of paper because you're not going to have enough room on this paper. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this. Negative 6a equals 6. Now everybody knows that negative 6 times negative 1 is 6, right? So two negatives, you multiply two negatives, that makes it a positive. But I'm going to show you that when you rewrite this, you can then perform the actions on top of, underneath it, right? So we undo, right? Our big goal is to isolate the variable, goal that we talked about before, right? Isolate the variable. And that just means get the variable alone on one side of the equation. Right, I'm going to put a little star over that. Remember, we're just trying to get a all by itself. Now, how do we do that? We see that it's being multiplied. Any number next to a letter, any coefficient in front of a variable, that's the mathematic language, means multiply. So how do we undo multiplication? We undo it with division. And we just put a fraction bar underneath both terms, right? Because whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other, and that's the properties of equality, right? The property of equality. And what that says is my equation stays the same and stays true if what I do to one side, I do the exact same thing to the other side. So what's happening here? A is being multiplied by negative 6. So what I'm going to do is undo it by dividing by negative 6. Divide by negative 6. And this is how we show division. This is why I wanted you to rewrite the equation, because if I put it here, I can do it in different colors, but you can't. All right, so negative 6 divided by negative 6 on this side is just positive 1. So that gives me a, right, just 1a, which is what I'm looking for. And positive 6 divided by negative 6, just one negative, so that would be negative 1. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing over here. This is my next equation. I'm going to rewrite this one. All right, so I'm going to rewrite. And then I forgot to tell you, step 2 is undo the multiplication or division on both sides. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this equation. I'm going to give myself just a little bit of space. 8d equals negative 16. And then I'm going to go ahead and divide, because this is being multiplied by, d is being multiplied by 8. So I'm going to divide by 8. Well, if I divide by 8 on this side, I have to divide by 8 on this side because of this property of equality. And this happens to be the division property of equality. In a second, we're going to use the multiplication property of equality. So that becomes just 1d. And then negative 16 divided by 8 is negative 2. All right, so there we go. That's our start here. And now I'm just going to get rid of this. And we'll do some division. Right? And we'll just get rid of that, and get rid of that. And now I'm going to show you what a division equation looks like. I'll use a different color. This says some number, sorry about the bell, some number m divided by -5 is 15. Okay, and I'll use another one. Some number, let's go way down here. I don't like that one. All right. Some number x divided by -8 equals -1. Okay, so just like before, I want to go ahead and rewrite the equation because I'm going to perform some operation on it. The division problems are not such a big deal with writing around it, but I want you to get into the habit of seeing it again and then performing your operations on the second part. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to show multiplication using parentheses because we just used parentheses when we talked about distribution, right? And here's how I want you to show it. We see here that m is being divided by -5. So to undo that division, we're going to multiply, and we're going to use parentheses to do it. So -5, if we multiply by -5, it's just like multiplying by -5 over 1, and these two things will cancel out. And then we'll have m. We'll just have m left over. And I want to show you how that works with fractions because you just started playing with fractions a little while ago. -5. And we'll just leave the m out of it for right now. 1 over -5, right? And if we multiplied straight across, we would get -5 over -5, right? Because that's how we multiply with fractions. And this is just 1, right? -5 over -5 is +1. And that's how we get our m. All right? And if we do that over here, we have to do that over here. All right? And believe it or not, I know this multiplication right here. I'm used to it. This is actually -75. Okay, so m is -75. And if we think about it, -75 divided by -5 gives me +15. That makes perfect sense. And you can use a calculator if you have to, but it shouldn't be necessary. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the second one. We're going to rewrite this one more time. Over -8 equals -1. All right, and now we're going to perform our operation on it. We're going to put parentheses around this term, put parentheses around this term, and then we're going to multiply by, what is x being divided by? -8. So we're going to use the property of equality that states if I multiply both sides by -8, then this cancels with this, and this is how I want it to look, and I have x. Now, -1 times -8, I have two negatives here, so it's going to be positive. So -1 times -8 is +8. All right, and that's how you do it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks, guys.